Good morning, everyone. And now we're looking at an interview in Variety with the Terminator Dark Fate director, who is Tim Miller. And Tim Miller, if you don't know him, he's the guy who was the director of Deadpool. So I thought that was a great movie. I thought to get that movie made took a lot of effort. And this kind of guy sort of has his directing chops, and he's a visual effects artist as well. So he's got two things going for him. That's cool. And now, after Deadpool, he says, hey, I got all these opportunities to make different kinds of movies. I really wanted to do Terminator. So, wow, what a great selection. Now, unfortunately, the way he communicates gives us a bit of a pause. Because as soon as you use this term, we know where you're coming from, which is not a good sign of quality. Maybe it worked out for Deadpool because it was a satire of the whole superhero genre, and that's good. But this is an actual, well, it used to be serious drama. At least the Terminator franchise was. Past one, 1 and 2 are about the only good ones. I think I stopped watching 3, and who the hell knows what happened to the other 2? I haven't paid attention. So here's an interview with Matt Donnelly from Variety. And, it's good in some ways and really bad in other ways. Let's just go through it. If I was a nerd, and I am, I always imagine reading about plot or story and how I would feel as a fan. I can be objective that way, like what I did with Deadpool. Cool. I like where he's coming from. Love that. When I read online, when we announced the film, Terminator 6, for F's sake, why don't they let it die? I understand where those people are coming from. Okay, great. This is good. He's identifying with his audience, or at least the people who have problems. Obviously, he can't change much, because I think shooting's probably already done by now. But okay, he's paying attention. So, he says after Deadpool, there were a lot of projects I could have chosen, but I really wanted to see Linda Hamilton come back as Sarah Connor. Cool. I find women, like James Cameron, I always find stories about women much more interesting than men picking up guns. Let that sink in. There are men with guns, and then there are women. I don't understand. Does he mean women with guns are more interesting than men with guns? Or just women in general? I don't. It's a very strange sentence. I don't know what he's getting at here. Jim's movies are grounded in reality and character. Okay, the first 2 are. It just happened to have time travel and robots. I wish that were the case. I really do. Again, the first movie was like a really expensive B movie, or a B movie with a good budget and decent writing, and a stolen idea from Harlan Ellison. But regardless, it was popular. And of all the B movies or 70s and 80s B movies out there, Terminator was at the top of the list. And Terminator 2, we just added to that. And after that, who knows? I can't say what happened after the franchise. I really can't. Mackenzie Davis and her character Grace feel like something very new for the franchise. What brought her here? Now, I like this whole part. Before we brought in screenwriters, we need a room with novelists at my request because they're world builders, well, not necessarily, and we're reinventing the franchise. One was Joe Abercrombie, the first Law series, who pointed out that the Terminator films tend to have a trinity of main characters. One of those is the Protector, like Kyle Reese, portrayed by da-da-da-da. Okay, fine. So a writer identified that in most of these movies, there's a trinity. Cool. And so Joe came out with the idea that a new Protector from the future is a machine fighter. Joe came out with this idea that a new Protector from the future is a machine fighter. That's nothing new. What do you think Terminator 2 was? And subsequently, I suppose every movie after that was always a machine coming back from the future instead of trying to kill John Connor, trying to protect John Connor. It's Painful Life. Okay, so there's this concept of a machine fighter where they're designed specifically to protect. Okay. Does this person look like a Protector? I mean, she could be. She's not very much of a wide target. Generally, when you think of protector, you think of a big, hulking dude or person with a lot of space to take up bullets. Okay. So anyway, this is a person who takes a lot of drugs and who's also a machine. It's like, what? So she's a cyborg. They don't live a long time. It's a very sacrificial role. They risk death and save others. Fine. And from the very first suggestion, it was always a woman. It's like, wait, why? Motherly instincts? Like, what's going on here? We had to look for someone who has the physicality, but I'm very sensitive to actors. I just want a woman who could physically fit the role, but emotionally as well. Fine. Mackenzie really wanted to do it. She came after the role. She worked harder than anybody. Okay, so passion is always appreciated. I see that. I just don't think she's the right person physically. I just can't wrap my brain around it. Now, if you look at the Terminator series or franchise, you look at, well, Arnold, he's a big hulking dude. Now, I don't know what muscles do to make them stronger, like when you're a robot, but let's imagine that you're an exoskeleton robot and you can bench press 2 billion, and all of a sudden you put tiny little muscles next to you. Unless those are like cybernetically enhanced muscles, what are they going to do? I don't know. Some type of leverage, I hope. I just thought the skin was just a nice way to blend in with humanity, but does this really sell the protector role? And if we're going that route, you get these beefcakes like Arnold coming on the screen. Why not have these hot women? Like that would sell. It would just visually, it would sell. And they don't have to be super hot. Like you look at the first movie with Sarah Connor, she wasn't super hot. Didn't have to be. She was just a strong female. So having strong females in Terminator is nothing new. Having tomboys that are svelte and are designed to be protectors doesn't quite make too much visual sense from what we know. So there has to be some explanation for that. This is where things start getting a little sad in the article. An early Dark Fate poster received backlash, calling Davis and her co-stars feminazis and other chauvinistic hate speech. Okay. How do you think she'll be received in the room at Comic-Con? If you're at all enlightened, she'll play like gangbusters. Okay, so this is the problem already. When you're writing a script, you're not concerned about your enlightened or your intelligent or your this or that sort of demographic. You're just trying to get a good story out there. You're trying to write a story for this. And we're talking about a character that this guy chose for emotional acting skills, and clearly the visuals were secondary. So already we have a problem. If you're enlightened, she'll be great. Which implies if you're not enlightened, so a schlub like me and everyone else, I guess, she won't. She'll suck. Well, she sucks just on visuals, so you have to sell us on something, and you're not getting me in the seat. There's no reason for me to see this movie yet. You have to hook me in there, buddy. See, with Deadpool, we knew what Deadpool was already. It's like, oh, wow, Deadpool. I know Deadpool. You could have gotten any actor. They got the right guy for the job. They got the script right. And they had a small budget, and it still worked. Because the storytelling was good. So already, this is not how you respond as a writer-director. If he is the writer, I don't know. If you're, he just doubles down. If you're a closet misogynist, I don't know, am I? What does that even mean? What's a closet misogynist? She'll scare the F out of you. Does this girl scare the F out of me? I don't think so. I'm having a problem that she's actually a female, but okay. That's the problem with tomboys. It's like, you're not really making me want to watch a movie. Because she's tough and strong, but very feminine. Okay, tough and strong, maybe. Strong, not so much. Feminine, definitely not. Tomboys are not feminine. We did not trade certain gender traits for others. You certainly traded body type and body mass for others. If Arnold is our base, what happened? Did the factory just go, yeah, we don't need big, strong, hulking weapons anymore. We need svelte, tiny females. Okay. She's just very strong, and that frightens some dudes. Already you're not making sense. You're alienating your audience. This is bad. Okay. You can see online the responses to some of this early shit that's out there. Trolls on the internet. We're not trolls, dude. We're looking at your actor and going, that's not very intimidating. Where's the other one? We're looking at this dude. He's not very intimidating. We're looking at this frame, and wow, does that not look intimidating? Like, what happened to it? Like, this is. I mean, look at these big dudes. They got these big chassis. I remember in the third Terminator, I think Arnold had two nuclear batteries in his body. It's like there's a big hulking machine. What the hell is this? It's a spine with a frame, and these look like cyborg muscles. Maybe it doesn't look intimidating, unless the story explains that this is the new strategy by Skynet to send in non-intimidating looking guys. Plus, this dude on the left is a T-1000 or whatever. He can shapeshift. Why? Like, why? What's the point? Give us another Arnold. Give us another muscle-bound fellow of that weight class or that size as an actor. Why wouldn't you? Why would Skynet change its design? I don't know. Again, there could be answers in the film, but you're not selling us on the trailer there, buddy. And if you don't give an F, then I don't give an F. You get feedback from James Cameron. Who cares? You're an executive producer on Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my God. You're an executive producer on Sonic the Hedgehog, which was also due out in November, but pushed to redesign the main character after fans protested. How was that experience? When Sonic arrived, the director, Jeff Fowler, was the best guy to do it. The redesign, look, I was with fans, and so was Jeff. Apparently you weren't, because you have to do a redesign. What happened? How does this logic... Oh, yeah, we totally understand. No, you didn't. The first draft, you went with it. This is a franchise. It has to be great. When the shit hit the fan, I went over there and said, the most important thing to do, man, is say, I effed up. Okay. Good. So why can't you do that with this movie? That maybe your casting choice was not very enlightened. Or was too enlightened. We've already sent a tweet out an hour before I got there. He's a good man. It was exactly the right way to handle that. The fans have a voice in this too. There's a right way to listen. And I guess because it's a CGI character, you can actually fix that. You can go back to drawing board and just dump in a new character visually. Cool. Can't do that. Can't CGI her. I mean, you could try. They'll look ridiculous, but I mean, this isn't a Neil Gaiman story where the women are, a variety of different shapes and sizes. This is a movie from an 80s B-movie flick that has a very strange pedigree. This will not get me in the seats. This will not get me in the seats. This will not get me in the seats. Having older Sarah Connor, yeah, that's cool. I like that. But everything else is meh. Have you seen any of the character redesign? In fact, I have, and I think the fans will be pleased. Why even have a character redesign? Just freaking put Sonic in the freaking movie. And this is all he has to say. This is the interview. And it's not good. When you start using the term misogynist, when you start choosing actors because you need... I mean, would you cast this person as a tank in a JRPG or an anime or manga? Probably not. There'd have to be a good reason. It'd be like you'd be subverting the trope of protector. So how is she a good protector? There has to be something. I'm curious about that. So there has to be some intellectual aspect to this that I'm missing. And unfortunately, it's not being communicated enough. But it seems to be mostly an emotional choice. He wanted someone who would emotionally play the role. So, yeah, sorry there, Tim. I wish I could give you some positive feedback, but it just doesn't look good. And as we know, the Terminator franchise is dead. I haven't even bothered with 4 and 5. It does not interest me. So good luck, Tim. You're definitely going to need it after Deadpool. And I think if sales figures are any indication from the previous movies, you're just not going to get the result you expect.